Hey everyone, it's Ryan back again from sonofvin. Well, here we are. I have got a sequel to a previous episode. If you remember my very first episode, I covered cannabis infused wines. Well, you know, it's been a year and a half, like I said, since my first video, but it doesn't seem like there are that many out right now. That there certainly seem like there are going to be more by now. I remember back in 2017 that there were a number of brands that were promoting theirs and they were coming soon. Most of those never came out. I don't know if just the whole concept didn't take off as well as people thought, or what happened. Was it some legal issues? Not really sure what happened. There are some new ones coming out here in 2020. House of Saka seems to have a couple that will be coming out soon. Another winery called Viv & Oak actually has one as well that should be coming out pretty soon. But overall, it just seems like they've kind of fizzled. But, you know, the interest in marijuana and especially CBD is certainly growing. But for some reason, the concept of actually purchasing produced wines with cannabis infused has not taken off as much. I have noticed there's a lot more recipes online on how to make your own at home. I guess it's merely just a matter of you purchasing wine and then maybe putting your own cannabis oil of some kind into that wine that you purchased. But overall, it doesn't seem like the concept of actually purchasing professionally made cannabis infused wine has taken off as much. However, there's one big player here in California that seems to be doing pretty well. They're the winery I covered in my last video. And in fact, that video was basically Sauvignon Blanc. I had a earlier version of a cannabis infused wine by Rebel Coast Winery. And it was a Sauvignon Blanc of theirs that they had infused versus a real natural Sonoma County Sauvignon Blanc by the Dreaming Tree. And, you know, I certainly could tell loads of difference between the two because at that time, that version of their Rebel Coast's Sauvignon Blanc just did not really taste like real wine to me. And that version only had 20 milligrams of THC. And so, you know, they say divide that by 4 because there's 4 servings per bottle. So you basically got 5 milligrams of THC per glass. This version is actually 40 milligrams. So they've upped their game and they've said they've kind of rebuilt the formula. On this side, I actually have another one of their wines that was a first time that they just produced last year. It is a Rosé. Now, it doesn't actually say what grape they use for the rosé, but it's a rosé called Pink Passion. It also has the same amount of THC per bottle, which is 40 milligrams this time around. So divide that by 4, that's 10 milligrams per glass versus the previous one that only had roughly 5 milligrams per glass. So both of these are supposed to have 10 milligrams of THC per glass now. And one's a more lighter rosé and another one's a white wine. Now, I have seen that Rebel Coast is talking about doing a champagne and they're talking about doing a red wine, which I'm certainly more interested in since I do enjoy red wines more. So it'll be interesting to see what the rosé tastes like, as well as have they improved the overall everything about the Sauvignon Blanc that they have out in this past year or so. But anyway, I'm going to pop these open. I'm going to sample them. I'm going to they say like 20 to 30 minutes before things kick in. We'll see if I can actually finish the video this time around since it is a lot more THC, but this should be fun. Stick around. All right, guys, we're back. I decided to go ahead and get started on this video before things got a little too out of control for me. I don't know what I'm in for, considering last time I had one bottle that was a normal wine and one bottle, this version, that the Sauvignon Blanc, that was half as much THC as this new bottle. Now I've got 2 bottles with twice as much THC and I'm sampling both of them. So who knows how long I'm gonna last in this video before I either fall over or I just give you a blank stare before I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. So it's better if we get going. I would like to say without a doubt that this version is much, 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 much better. Now, The previous version kind of tasted like pineapple juice to me. It did not taste like wine. It didn't really smell like wine. It was very cloudy and hazy looking. I will say this though, that this time around, it has a closer aroma, taste, everything to what a Sauvignon Blanc should be. Now, the problem with these wines is that when they make it, they actually remove all the alcohol, and in that process, they're actually removing a bunch of the stuff that actually makes wine. You know, the tannins, the acids, all the little flavonoids, all that stuff just gets removed in this process. So ultimately they have to add things back in to kind of make it mimic what a wine should taste like. And they definitely did a much better job this time. That's for sure, considering that last one was more like a juice. This one is closer to a wine. Now, mind you, this has 0 tannins. There's really no acid that I could taste either. It is just, it's got the aroma, a very faint, mind you, aroma of like a white wine. And you've got that bitteriness of marijuana. It's kind of got a smell to it, still like the previous one did too, but it's much lighter. It's just overall a better quality version of what they're trying to go for here. I will say that. It's much better this time around. And over here we've got the Rosé. The Rosé is a new one to me, so I don't really have anything else to go on. Really, honestly, other than just comparing it to this one, particularly here, the Sauvignon Blanc. So ultimately, I actually preferred the Rosé more than I did the Sauvignon Blanc. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm biased because I had tried the previous one and this one's a step up, mind you, but this one I never had any other comparison to. So it was kind of like a fresh new version, and the fruitiness, the kind of rosé, everything is there that you'd expect from a typical rosé. It isn't as sweet. I think maybe that bitterness that comes from the THC, the marijuana aspect, kind of takes away what a typical rosé tastes like. But overall, it's still a very good rosé. And as far as the overall buzz goes, I don't necessarily feel much different than I did the last time around. Maybe last time was, it was new to me, this concept, and I just chugged away, and before I knew it, I was feeling a nice solid buzz. I don't feel much worse or much more of a buzz this time around. They do say that they're going for something that kind of just makes you want to chill out. It's kind of a nice, mild buzz feeling, not something that just makes you want to pass out and become a, vegetable sitting on the couch all day. So I think, certainly that's what they've accomplished. Now, maybe if I just started chugging a bunch of wine and, got a glass or two in me, I wouldn't be able to even do these videos anymore. But I can certainly feel something, and it's a cool effect. 0 alcohol, all just THC effect. It's certainly an interesting drink concept, but if you're going for something that you don't want to just be blasted away by, these are certainly going to do that for you. Overall, these are actually 2 pretty good wine versions for being cannabis infused. I've never really tried any other brands before. I've had some people reach out to me and offer to give me their homebrew versions, but I have not taken them up on it yet. But maybe soon I will, and maybe I'll even review them. I am actually looking at some of the other brands that are offering theirs, and I plan to review those as well once they're available. As someone who doesn't really get involved in THC, marijuana too much, these are definitely some pretty cool wines, and I definitely like them a lot better than the last time around. So I'm curious to see what's next. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I will talk to you later.